Okay, we can put some more of this on the records. And as we can see, we got the little C, Marpequena. And we see Lanzarote in Fuerteventura. You know, Tenerife, and Gran Canaria, San Cristobal, Cabo Verde, San Miguel, and Palma. Stuff they don't talk about in history class. Okay, let's do some more reading. That's what we do, we read. Enrique IV, in truth, Pedro de Vera received an appointment in his house in Jerez, gathering in his person the function of governor, warden, captain, and corregidor. The justices would hand over the rods and Algapa the fortress. Invested with all authority, he would initiate inquisitions, discover the culprit of the riots, tried and convicted without appeal. Vera would apply and execute the punishment of exile and death. That seems best. So he doing an inquisition on some of the conquered areas. Even after some of the so-called natives helped them. Discover the culprits of the riots, tried and convicted. So we have to read that. Once the order has been restored, the wayward ones are eliminated. The rods of justice expropriated, acquired by purchase, excluding those granted or sold by the crown, withdrawn those obtained by another means, would form a new council, creating the perpetual charters that seem to mandatory that the notary public and notary of the camera had a bachelor's degree, took a blank side appointment, giving the holder jurisdiction in the Canary Islands as seas and ports, reconstructed the cabildo, organized the militia, would continue to conquest without interruptions until subjugate the island, Palma, and Tenerife. Excuse me. Also in power of infidels, quote unquote, enemies of our holy Catholic faith, quote unquote. So they talk about Moors. So we know, ain't no secret. The discovery of America right here. In fact, it's conquest of the Moors, Moorish Empire. In the West. The Moorish Empire in the West. Some historians call it the Western Empire. Let's get into Mosika. Mosika and Vera. with the fighting Princess Teldar. And having no place in this conquest of the Canary Island in the official history. So basically, we know in the official history, stuff get leave out on purpose. The chroniclers hide it, rebuilding it in their own way. They followed Pulgar, the Canaria Grande. Would have been difficult to win if one of the two local princes did not come in aid of the Castilians. See? Referred by Vera to Castilla, with wife and entourage disembarked was in search of the court, which was in Madrid. Duly entertained and dazzled, he was restored to his place of origin to continue serving in the war. Bernaldez picked up the story nominating the princes. The weak Galdar found in the Castilians the ally who allowed him to take revenge on the powerful Telde. So you can see what's going on. You got these princes who fighting each other and using Castilian hands. But boy, you don't know that you always gonna pay. Legendary both as legend hides a real fun. In this case, in the form of a documented canary called Michael de Moxica. What's interesting about Moxica, that name, interchangeable vowels, so you take the O, make that an E, and take the A and make that an O, we got Mexico. So he's from a place called Moxica. Brown of complexion, that is to say black, citizen of the common. And she put that in there because that's part of the reason why a lot of this history get taken out. Racism. A lot of us deal with that. Even behind the scenes, dealing with the inquisitions and shit. And fasting those elected in politics and diplomacy and unable to intuit the profitability of the jester, added the person of Moxica to the shipment of slaves. So he mistakenly get added to the shipment of slaves. Disembark, it was bought by Jerez's neighbor. The shipment. Because slaves is a property, so but Spanish translations don't really do pronouns too good translating to English. So basically he was bought by Jerez's neighbor, Esteban Perez Capitos, mayor of the Gran Canaria. Sent the news to the kings. Teaches the Catholic in advertising while Pedro de Veras was still in Jerez on April 1480. So we get names and dates. He was ordered to look for that Moxica. Once the truth of the story was found, he would kidnap him immediately, sending him to the court, informing the owner that he could claim the sailor while he paid for the slave. The alleged savage revealed himself literate, polyglot, and honest, a real virtue in Castile. So they talk about Moxica. Agreeing to take advantage of it, the Catholics treated him as our servant, appointing him as a loot-fifth pariah and rights collector, obtaining in the course of the conquest. See, Even since back then, you got people who look like you who in it. Like they coming through the whole town to baptize everything. Now you suffering for the next 300 years. I'm telling you now, gotta watch them motherfuckers. Them niggas like they generalize. That's the number one thing preachers, people who consider that do. I'm saying all those people bad, cause everybody got potential to be bad or good. But some of them already got the they getting rights to do stuff like a rights collector. He come to he come into her town and he kind of set up shop, planting the cross. Troop payer and account bookkeeper, warning that booklets in which her signature did not appear would not be valid. Conquered the islands would be delivery of inheritance, you see. Them boys get in good with everybody who they could and considered the place conquered after a while. They snatched that boy up and did all kind of shit. And use. But as we can see, they plenty of people using Castile too, like. So amending the lawlessness committed by a previous deal would remove the land that was given to the absent to give it to those who participated in the conquest. So them boys persecute nobles and landowners, you know, and when they get rid of them, give the lands to the people who did the murder, the crimes. Pedro de Vera, retaining his status as war captain in matters of peace and economic, Moxica had the last word and the authority. So that's why I think Vera, I think he probably been from here too, because as you can see that they got like I believe wherever the Pope, the Catholic powers recognized people at, I got subjects that they let them lords rock on them lands as authority. And Castile was just one of them, but one of the powerful one of these Christian nations. Fearing the worst, Juan Rejon got into the church for 7, and Juan Rejon is another one of these people who getting caught up in the shit. But they're looking for benefits and shit. Oh, they nobles. And that shit worldwide. He got into the church with 7 soldiers praying, finding him the dean and Pedro de la Agapa in this position. The governor did not react, approaching Bermudez smiling. And a lot of this is going to start to make sense as it go out. But ain't in like subsequential order. I got them in subsequential order, but I only got popularized like key points. The governor did not react, approaching Bermudez smiling for this in the plot because Rejon took refuge from Algaba. They took him to Cabildo's house where he would be in security when they were close by Alfonso de Lugo and Fox Hawkes. They drew weapons surrounding Lugo when sickles fell, mortally wounded. Locked up Algaba, Ray John went in search of Juan Bermudez, who had drained. His friends defeated him with one dead enough to give up the fortress in which Algaba was locked. His followers, loaded with chains, were shipped to Ombrio Island. So we're starting to see how the slavery ship really was. You have these events happening, then you got the losers getting shipped somewhere. You know, they don't really get into detail. They just tell you just been in the middle of the Atlantic in a slave ship. But if there's a story behind them with names and dates and inheritances and whole land rights and stuff like that, then you need to know. The ship did not go far. The pleas of wives and children softened Ray John, who made her return to Gran Canaria, distributing them between Eunonia and Pluvialia. That's the country of Juno, and the country of Pluvia, which is something like the goddess of rain or some shit. With permission to march where they wanted. Pedro de la Agaba prosecuted 17 days later he was executed. So basically you got a lot of the wars between the princes and kings from these old kingdoms. And like we see in the beginning, same thing. And then what they make, somebody going after, try to get the fucking, whatever, handle the Portuguese, or another, the Dutch, they have the Dutch government, to do a study on the Portuguese language in modern times, and they find that they've been speaking a Spanish that predate the so-called Spanish conquest in Brazil, or the Portuguese conquest, which is all the same language, just different forms. But very early, a couple hundred years. So that means, that shows something being tampered with when it comes to place names. Simple. Bernaldez ratified the story with due corrections, and Bernaldez is a historian, considering Vera impudent to begin the conquest of Tenerife. Imprudent. Leaving behind 600 men of war, he promised fortune to the ones who followed him. You see, he promised fortune to them. Getting the Canaries to embark on his foot, locked under the Tilia, so that they could not be guided by the star. Talking about the Polaris. They were distributed between the port of Cadiz and Puerto de Santa Maria. So, getting names and places. Stopping at the market while the ships returned in search of women and children. It was enough to tell them that they were taken to their husbands, to where their husbands were. It was enough to tell them they were taken to where their husbands were. so that they would get on board without misgivings. So you see, we got the kidnapping starting, and we got the culprits, and we got to get Bernaldez account. This is a story called Bernaldez. It gotta be famous if she using his um, account. Giving rise to the magnitude of the cargo so that the demand was exceeded by the supply. On a Rosso, feeding the stock, the merchants gave freedom to the surplus, being housed in vague lands outside the walls of Seville, next to the Milojar Gate. Today, most by not acclimatizing, some dispersed throughout the kingdom, returned those who could to a Gran Canaria, forming a nucleus of Castilian population, which will make cause with the colonizers. Very scholastic, but now they celebrate Vera's felony. So, Vera committing international crimes, calling it commendable for being the cause of state. So, that's some of the earliest when they realized that they could kidnap Moors and use that to build a city state and stuff like that, to build up something. One of the earliest accounts, and we dealing with this okay, let's go to the Canary Wars. Let's see what they got to say. So 1402 to 1496, so they do get into the deep and dates. And you see where they located though. they put it all right here because 1492 ain't happened yet. You can get the accounts from them. Gran Canaria, La Palma, and Tenerife. The Western Roman Empire. The mother names that really talk about got the America's histories hidden within it. A lot of the Carthaginian history got to deal with the Americas. And you know they're gonna have to add that to the story off the top. So let's continue. Yeah, you read that. So now look at a hijack. Gran Canaria, Tenerife, San Miguel, and Palma. And I see a San Miguel fort somewhere over here too. Okay, we got San Miguel right there. So they'll know we ain't playing with them. I ain't goddamn playing. Look at that. San Miguel de Allende. And Allende is one of those words that show up in the pre-Spanish record, but nobody can't find the damn place. Yet we gotta move here all day. And Allen, Texas, and shit, all that's the same thing. Orlando is the Portuguese version of that shit. And we find that where it's supposed to be. You see, Mexico all over. Then you take the day off because you can see Island Day. And you see, now you got the quarters, Mauritania. Just all about learning how to read the shit again. Orlando. And Orlando is right there on our research map. We will get that same architecture too, just like that. So, let me see something real quick. So I'm gonna move it back over there. And Tenerife, just like they show us in that Wikipedia. The Queen learned that Gran Canaria had been dominated, ordered to continue in Palma and Tenerife, exposing the campaign plan to Villafranca and Albala for 1481. The council was forced to be Beatrix to nurture galleys and sailors, the real armed ones. Beatrix. Lords. Beatrix Lords. Let's see. Gotta be kidding me. Inheritor. That's what I could look at that word to say. Beatrix. That look like an inheritor. And that's why I've been saying, like, they use people from the land as the rulers with a crown, but you know, behind the scenes, who governed it. I'll be here, yeah. They gotta have some form of the word up there. Behead. She'll be hairy, cause gotta be kidding me. Behead. That's why. Behead. Spanish dictionary. Hate this dictionary too. The term behetria proceeds from the Low Latin bea, benefactoria, through benefactria and benefactria, following the same quadrominus. It can be said that a beatry was a population whose neighbors had the right to choose their lord, choosing as such who would do better. The peasantry that inhabit that population received the name of man of Behetria. It is not only the term that derives from benefactoria, but the institution itself comes from a previous phase in which the noble structures that characterize the Behetrias would not yet exist. The same author mentioned a diploma of 1089, which references made different forms of inheritance, and among them a benefactoria. The Behetrias are endorsed in the legislative summaries made by Alfonso X. And Behetria means so much as an inheritance that belongs to him who lives in him and can repay better in him for a Lord whom he chooses to do better. Alfonso X, the saving items that sound like a fucking spell. Geronimo Zurita also found it in ancient texts as being Benefatrius. So I still don't really get that. Now you like it still seems like Alfonso X got control over the Behetria that he who making that claim that person is a, I don't know. Find out the definition. Behetria in the Spanish is confusion and disorder. And they say the same thing I say. As absolute owners of it could receive by Lord who they wanted. Whose neighbors. So the council was forced to be behatrix, to nurture galleys and sailors, the real armed ones. So that's why it made me think, they did that to nurture galleys and sailors. Like, I'll get friends with some of these people from here who know how to sail these seas, and control the people. So using people. So Isabel demanded immediate shipment of a third of the registered ones to transport the first harvest of Omicianos, whatever that is, warning that the remaining two, that's what's so important about getting the record straight, because the record books showing transportation of something called Omicianos, uncapitalized. So they do stuff like that because that can be like fruit, but that could also be a tribe that they don't want to win a war with and capture. Try to hide that. An illegal war. So warning that the remaining two would have to be incorporated in April to serve in the heavy armada. So armada is the fleet. The fleet of the Spanish Armada. That would leave in spring. On January 17, 1481, Isabel called the Omicianos to the conquest of Palma and Tenerife. You see, using that term as like a group of people now. So in the conquest of Palma and Tenerife, in power of infidels, again, Moors. So that's who in power of it. And you see from the last week, we're going to do chapter 47, verse 7 to 8, that basically that why that showing up inside the documents. These places in power of infidels. Since the Gallican criminals were wealthy people and common crime participated in the revolts, the Chief Justice would individually negotiate the period of service and the number of men which each one should take to his account. So we start to see with, let's see if they got. There you go. That's the perfect one. See, when you look at this, they should show you this in school. Ain't no problem to show you this because it's kind of late, you see. But they don't give you how this become what it was, the details, like we get right now. And New Gallica should be right there. And we about to see how they get the New Kingdom of Gallica right there. And as you can see, you in it. You were part of it. The English just did so much damage to you for so long, you don't forget. But I've been a native. I natively speak English, but Spanish. I understand that that's a so close of a language that it'll be easy to translate to get a entire group of people, millions of people to go to English. Take one generation because the parents gonna use it, and the children gonna pick it up. And they'll stop using the Spanish because there ain't no stop signs and nothing, no all the signs, everything in English. So that's a government act of doing that to people. Forcing English because the unofficial language of a country might be English, but not here. The unofficial language, so they can't make you use that in your law and your commercial dealings, none of that. But so they're gonna try to kick that out the way because that's competition. So we see New Gallica. Let's continue. So since the Gallican criminals were wealthy people and the common crime participated in the revolts, the Chief Justice would eventually negotiate the period of service and number of men, with each one should take to his account. Variable distance and time, the term would begin to run the day they signed the incorporation. So once they sign all these little documents stuff, they start shipping people over. Criminals and stuff like that. Metamoros and more killers. Can't really find that over here. Strangely, it's supposed to be Moorish country, but I might have to translate it to Arabic and see if it does. See, take me back over to Mexico. And they got the more killers up here, but they got the feminine versions. You know, so I gotta deal with this type of shit. Cause that's my mother that they using as they actually say kill more killer in the feminine aspect. But after all these years, I guess we forget. And you know, they got the little sea over there. Santa Cruz de la Marquina. Just to throw the story off, everything get pushed over there. Matamoras. And they get one town to change days. They had Medelludías, as Jew killers, and they changed their sign. I think some of these in Ohio, Indiana, Pennsylvania. You know, probably not got plenty definition done define that in other ways that ain't got nothing to do with white talking about. you know, they already on it. Like Ohio got a lot of places. Ohio's a real interesting place to go through on your Google Maps. And another thing, the most castles and forts in the world, man. And these war areas that we're reading about. You go look up castles near Venezuela. Wikino. Castles, Wikino are Honduras. And Honduras even got the small islands of Castillo de San Felipe de Lara. And these names gonna be showing up in the history books. You gotta go to the scene of the crimes. San Felipe de Barajas. You got the Moroccan castle right there. Castle Moroccan. The French Moroccan. Oh, that's what we're looking for right there. Search this area. Then you can move around when you see that pop up. You can move around, just click search this area, and you'll just search for castles in that area. Look at this. Ain't nowhere no hoop, but none of these. That's why all of them either be turning hotels like for super rich people, museums, because the state already man, they don't know who the fuck own all this shit no more. Because all the people that get shipped to North America, that's what happened. That's what we reading about. See, it's attractions. I don't know how I get that search this area to pop up on the screen, but Wikino. And I want to do Brazil. Okay, they got to do the Amazon. Let's do that. No, I want to go to the Amazon. I want to castles. Castles run, they may be called plazas, palaces, plazas. They don't want me to go in the forest. And turn them to hotels. Look at this shit. Right on the coast. This one look old as hell. Garcia de Avilia. He from Avila. Castello Mona Lisa. Castle Mona Lisa. Castle of the Indians. Shit. Castle de Montes. Castle of the Mountains. Castello. See, this is Z dos Montes. That's a. You see, they got different versions of the Portuguese. Slightly different from the original Portuguese. The Moorish Pavilion. They say, man, you know, we can't even knock this one down. Let's say this is the one of the Moorish Pavilion. The Spanish, I love the old Moorish architecture. Okay. Yeah, that's it. That's a part of some story that we read. Shit, look what was. Let's see, 1922. Okay, this check this out. So much. You can do that. Let's see something. Historic landmarks. That's something else I need to look for. Let me see before we do that. Spain. Yeah. So, I think the Portuguese got the same. I really see some place in Colombia with that spelling. And it looked like someplace down here too. Mexico. The olives. The olives. And I know a lot of restaurants in North America with the A in place of the O. In Guatemala got a place named under that spelling. Let me see. Venezuela. The only way they gave me now for Venezuela, I don't even know if I spell that right or shit. Near, they let me use that. They let me use near me, but let me search. Oh, I ain't even pressing search. Stupid. And she take a nice picture. Who was that? Anna Maria Piquera. Yeah, that's a oral structure right there. The walls of Cartagena. It's where a lot of system ain't being told in the public. No movies, no nothing. Hide it. Quinta de San Pedro. The Lost City. And you see the structures well made. Probably even something on top of this, they put that destroy. So, shit. Every time I try to go, I see more. I got that pattern. And I probably say mortal something. If you look at them in the original language, let me see if they would translate them. Oh, this is Nares. Del Diablo. Morales or something. Look at that shit. Where we at? We in America or Portugal? I don't know. I don't know no more. Some more forts. And do one more. No, I ain't in this video. Until I type. Wait, look at my fuckers and everything. That shit look like Bahia, probably. The Rome of the Blacks. And you know we got this show. It's not a game. We taking your shit. Chimney. Like an obelisk. Alright. Pedro de Sal, the Rock of the South. And in the last video we deal with that Anaraya, the salt mine owned by the Sharife. And look at that. Check it out. Marcus Garvey. You already know Brazil be rapping. Fucking World War II bunker. They don't talk about World War II in Brazil, do they? I don't really think they talk about anything in America dealing with World War II. So you know that's a bullshit, because if they're World War, why? What make this motherfucker so special? Damn. For all I know. Check out the name of that. Monument to the hero of the Atlantic crossing. So 1927 story about Italian. Okay. So we know that talking about Tenerife and Gran Canaria and all that. So we see Pedro de Vera and Michael de Moxie running shit. They exempted Domitian from service in arms for the days of his life. They show that in the records. Gathered 8 Gallicans, criminals of Alcurnia, chartered caravel to Tenerife on site of Lanzarote, the first island that was on the road to Gran Canaria. Let's see. And Lanzarote right there. Or the one on the other side. believe that the first island on that side too, before Grand Canary on that side. Let me see. Anyway, let's. There you go. It gathered a Gallican criminals of Alcurnia chartered caravel to Tenerife on site of Lanzarote, the first island that was on the road to Gran Canaria. They were surprised by the storm. They escaped by throwing weapons and pantry overboard, being forced to return to port to replenish stocks. Again, in front of Lanzarote, a new storm dragged them to San Lucar del Marisco. See how they spell out with the A in that record book. Useless the third attempt to conquer the islands. The Queen granted forgiveness to an intention to get into goodwill. Gonzalo Carrillo, a neighbor of Pontevedra and Guzman in the Canary Islands, was called to the siege of Malaga against the enemies of our holy faith, Moors. With the patriotic enthusiasm proverbial in town, based in a country that is a Cortijo del Amo. That is a Cortijo of love. You got one in Peru, one in Chile, Paraguay, country club. Now that's another name for Terry. Look up country clubs and look at the logos and names and shit too. Hide a lot of shit like that. Golf clubs, country clubs, theaters, restaurants, the industry companies like steel companies and shit. So the Cortijo. And since the story right here, we got a Madrid, right? In Gran Canaria. Let's see if one over here. Grand Cancha. Changing my Grand Canasta. Mexico. So that. So many street names and stuff in Mexico. They put all the story. So many names from the stories, like even children names of old nobles get street names and shit around. Let's go to Tenerife. So Madrid that from right there. And that's the one right there. That's everything the same place. Cundinamarca. And that's an old looking architect. And I talk about Madrid, Lebanon, the last one. And looking for Malaga. And that's it, Kajika. I don't know if we've been in this long or not. That's a different one. Let's see. Malaga should be close by. Yeah. Let's see. Of course, Gallagher. And what do they call them? They call them the Omikianos. So they'll be from a place called Omikia, if that's the case. Oh shit. They don't doing, you gotta give them something to look at. Stupid shit. Still nothing. So the conquest of Palma and Tenerife, so Palma should be close by. A whole lot. Palmares. So Palmares might be, and they got Palmas with an S. That's why I like Google Maps too, because they show me words like that inside in this place right there. Got a lot of street too. True you. Good place to look around. Come on now, you already know what you're looking for. Why you gotta make shit hard on me? Google. And Gambita. The Gambia. The Gambia of the West. Baptized, of course. And then I should kind of wear our, should kind of look at Caucasia Mountain. Right, it should kind of, right with a research map, show fucking, this one. No, further down. history gone. Motherfuckers lying to y'all. They ain't lying to me because I never believed they asked from the get-go. Always find shit off of myself. If I had to go get a hard hat like Indiana Jones and go dig up some shit. You see how they getting strongholds, Castillo de Oro, and San Miguel de la Palma, San Juan, and that's why he interested too. Juana. I got a whole story on her. Very interesting. And they had this right here as the Santa Cruz of Africa on record. Of course, ain't that today. And you still got Lanzarote right there, because that's the first island. Right there. And just like on the west coast of North Africa, La Marpequina. And that's why you see people and they say stuff like Mosey in America. Because they only know him from what Hollywood tell them. They watch too much TV. Instead of going to look for everything themselves. Like Morpheus tell, forget everything, you know what I mean? Everything. So that means die in Brazil. Something else. But something that's common as a place name like Brazil. I don't look like the crazy one if I go around telling people, well, you know that place ain't Brazil, right? I'll be the crazy one because it's common knowledge that that's Brazil. But if you don't give a fuck how people think like me, I don't give a fuck if you call me crazy how you think. That's why I don't even entertain the comments, because I don't care. It's only for people, for certain people and for recording purposes. People 50 years from now who I try to record this for. And they get it. It's wicked. That's how we gotta be more. Especially if you just not finding some information out. You will get people all the time coming to tell you the same things, the same little few lines that they ain't got it written down some notebook. Same little few lines, that means, so that tell me that they get in a source that they all get in what they believe to be the whole ocean of knowledge of Moorish history, or more about history and period. Even though they only got a micro molecule of that ocean, trying to act like that's the whole ocean. So they make these certain statements that once I see that state, I already know. And we see again this Moxica. So it was carved to the seas of Malaga against the enemy of our holy faith again, with the patriotic enthusiasm, proverbial in town, based in a country that was a cortijo de armo. He slipped away using a certificate signed by Moxica and Vera of having fulfilled the or make kilo. So I've been like a title, I mean like a knighthead type bond or some shit. Leaving conquered all of Gran Canaria. Ferdinand Coiquero from Santiago de Castelo got rid of going to war in Granada because 11 years ago he had fulfilled it mainly in the islands of Tenerife and La Palma. Let's see. He fulfilled going to war in Granada and its islands, quote unquote, Tenerife and La Palma. So they ain't talking about Granada as we know it. Even Gran Canaria is subjugated. So just look at this from the saying. You can't tell these people that you ain't talking about Morocco over there. Even people who profess to be Moorish Americans will tell you that they only know one Morocco. And then you got some who say, Morocco ain't been founded before 1959, I believe. But that ain't completely accurate either, because you can find maps that predate that date, long predate that date with Morocco over there. That particular state used the same name that they already know Morocco. Simple. They just use that name. We just gotta stop thinking that like fucking like the universal God of fucking name these places and nothing can be changed. That's how you get confused when you think that's the name of that place and they written on the ground somewhere, Canaries, some shit like that. Easily deceived when you got that type of thinking. But you know, Morocco, like I said, one of my old videos I showed that it just means land of God, so that can be any way. You the child of God, right? So you live in the land of God. That's something. Still spell that wrong, but they still give me results that actually got a misspelling. But those ain't really misspellings. Those are just over times and phonetics, especially in English. The vowels, if you misspell in a word, 9 out of 10 you got the wrong vowel. The vowel always the only thing that give you problems. So vowels change it, be the same word, but people add different vowels because they're going off phonetics. And Mexico again, Mexico City, Plaza Africa. I'm making this video long on purpose. It ain't gotta be this long, but try and cover as much as possible so I don't have to keep covering a lot of stuff and just put this shit on the record. But you can screenshot it. Vera began the conquest of Palma at the beginning of 1481. Departure of the island from Cabo Bojador, more or less, where the border of Honduras with Nicaragua passes today. But let's check and see if any changes happen. Damn, I didn't even really. I must be. Yeah, I searched that before. That's why. That definitely in the Cabo Portugal we're looking for. Or maybe. Shit. Uh, that's live research. And Lagos, Portugal. So definitely Portugal part of the story. Alfonso it's Alfonso again. I know that's the same one we read about earlier, but this man, yeah, still around. The fifth. Fear that the Castilians would enter San Miguel Island. Okay, so they saying San Miguel, so that's probably the capital Portugal that we're talking about. Or the Portuguese one. Let me see if that's an island. Because they might have went from that one and came over to see and named the place that they land the same name. That's another theory we can look into. Nope. It's a fucking avenue. It's a coastal. Cape Portugal. Might have changed in English. Nope. You see Cabo de Aguirre show up a lot in the records. But you see we had in Morocco today. Cabo Frio show up in the records as one of the places that all Moors of Normandy went. You get a lot of and you know another interesting thing that word they say right there. Frigadoon, they had coal. They getting down to the area where on the maps that the video ain't made about the three Africas, the three Ghanas. The area under the Africa, under the Africa starts around Cabo Frio, and I seen maps with that area called Frigadoon. And I guess I just see that the snot up there, and this shit like crazy. Kaput Frigadoon. So that's the head of that column, which is countries, because we use that term to dig countries like continents, because that's how we look at continents today, big land masses. But the way we had them as in prehistory, we had them climatal. So Africa been everything from 8 degrees, like 16 degrees from the equator, north and south. And south, once you get past that, you get into Freaky-Doom, that area. No, we get into Pip-Berry, and then Freaky-Doom. So, Cabo Frio. Off the top, that should look, wow. That's a sandcastle, what the fuck? Oh, that's a real, man. I don't know what that should look like. And you see the Moors of Normandy land here. But, you know, those Moors of Normandy history is the same as the Templars. One and the same. Look at that shit, Marica. So heard that the Castilians entered San Miguel Island. So you know, Portuguese and the Castilians always famous for shit. Rich in gold and sugar. In anticipation, he ordered the architect, and that's why I say, when Wikipedia show us the water Canaries and show us them low ass islands, but give us the long ass stories of war and slavery capture and all that shit. You gotta think now that shit don't make no goddamn sense for them to be fight for that low ass piece of shit territory that ain't even really benefiting them because they're looking for stuff they can start an industry with, like salt mines and gold mines, sugar, fruits. In anticipation, he ordered the architect Diego Paris, like the Paris map, to make strength like a stronghold. So let's translate that. And that probably the Fort of San Miguel that we saw earlier. That shit might be right there inside goddamn Cabo Portugal in Mexico. Let's check. Goddamn. Find out something new. So we got San Miguel Fort. San Miguel de Allende. And looking for the fort. Let me see. Yep. Fort San Miguel, that's all I asked for. And Forete, that's how I gotta spell them. Forete. Or Fortaleza. Look how many forts in Mexico by you there, so. And these folks blocking off North America, like motherfucking crazy ass motherfuckers out there. So we got San Barcar. Fort San Miguel right there. So we know that's the falls of the fifth day. And he ordered the architect Diego Perez to make the fort. I know that's what he ordered Diego Perez to make, but you know what I'm saying. Sail from Lisbon, okay, at the end of the year, loaded with technicians, masons, tools, and construction materials, arriving in January 1482 to a certain village known by the name Remnants of Duas Parts. 2 parts. Located between Cabo Bojador and the mines, you see. Everything but fucking mines. But a way out theory that I got that I do around a bunch of theories and just that even Spain and Portugal, I believe a lot of places get take over there. Just like in Morocco, the West Coast of Africa and the Canary Islands. I think all that history been happening here and get take over there on paper. But the theory kind of hard to really get stick because you do got like whole force and stuff over there. So stories kind of was just, but just Lisbon. I can find Lisbon over here too. So it could have been he come from where we find Lisbon at over here and going to San Miguel Island, so called, in Mexico. And that would be an easier trip than from Lisbon, Portugal. We see a lot of the records and stuff in Lisbon, but you can take the records there. That ain't hard. Matter of fact, let's do this. That's a star fort right there. See a lot of these around the Americas too. Forte. Badass forts. Island. Say Lisbon down here somewhere. Lisbon over there. You see, the architecture the same, just like we've been looking at all day. And Golden Gate. So, if you're reading about these names like Musika and all these people, well, we don't, what they looking like to me is look like these are the people who been going over there in Spain and pulling that shit out. And Portugal and pulling that shit out like the way they had them over here. Same architecture, language, shit. And then motherfuckers just, some of them make people forget over time. This one coming back like, damn, speak the same languages and everything. Just when they go into certain areas, they have to have an Arabic translator. Because in areas that are always closed off to strangers or foreigners. So, Lisbona. Lisboa. So that's how they say it. But you know, Ohio again, like I always say. Dakotas. Connecticut too. But Ohio, always seen it show up with a lot of. Everybody got a little town down there. And you know that when you think of something like International Congress, start to make sense with that Cundinamarca, because every country in the world down there inside that little Cundinamarca area. And Lisboa. Let's see, France. And this ain't even Cundinamarca.
Your phone battery level is at 26%.
The only reason I really get into a lot of this, I got a whole note on what she talk about when she talk about the slavery thing, because she do get into how they replacing that story with different stories that happen here in order to continue with the 1492 hoax. And the reason I really want to get into that, because I know I tired of hearing about slavery shit all the damn time. Let's talk about the wars, the shit that caused the downfall. But I am going to do a series on them because they need to be said straight. That shit tie in with these stories right here that we're reading. The conquering of Grand Canal. Tenerife, San Miguel, because get captured and shipped from here to here, or here, or here, or here, or here, or here. Who knows? It may be here. The Ghana Wars get shipped from here, definitely to here, because they started looking for gold here. They used the old gold mine slaves that they had in the slave river, or we had to. You could talk about custodian slaves and getting rescued and all type of shit, man. It's fucking crazy. Getting shipped here in New Spain, in New Spanish territories. And a lot of these territories that had Beatrix, like local lords who had, some of them ain't had slavery. And a lot of the slave colonies, a lot of people would run to the colonies like Florida, because whoever the government had been probably would have let them be free. Probably have to pledge their allegiance to some lord. So let's aim it with this one. So obtained the proper license from the local authority. He erected a tower by the sea. You see, from the local authority, Beatrix, on a promontory where there were blocks of previous building. So he just reconstructed something that already been there. Engraved and won the year figure of the 14th century. So 1300s. Indeterminate because the last number could not be read. So one of them years that would be seen with the I something, and then you got the number. Concluded that this was the site of the Norman Tower of Akara. So again, when she said Norman, she's talking about those old Templars from the old Moorish France. Because we know of this Moorish territory, damn sure had boats to get to France. These seacoast states. It's Moorish, Vasila, Martius. And you know, we had the Council of Nicaea. Go look up a picture of that. But this whole Mediterranean area have been Carthaginians, Phoenicians, Moors, the Tyrrhenian Sea, Altar. So let me show a map. A lot of time they won't make it look like they're talking about a house. They use this from Moors of Normandy. They're talking about the hills of Normandy. That's why I say Saracens though. And like this one talking about this is the land. And then USS Normandy Moors, you know, they use names from history. so they don't capitalize. That's proper. When you ain't talking about people doing like this idiot. Or no, he using it as an adjective. My fault. And that's on the Wikipedia page of Norman. But when you're using it as a board or as you more in Asia, then you don't capitalize it. The USS Normandy Moore is capitalized because you use it as a name. Proper. And that's why words ain't nothing spooky about words. Just gotta be proper grammatical. And nobody can tell you what the fuck is up. They can't tell you wrong if you grammatically right in your usage. Cross out Normandy. And they say Vikings in this one could be the Normans. People are Frankins in Nordic Viking origin in Normandy. Have you watched the movie Black Knight? The King had mistaken from a Moor of Normandy. And you know Martin dark skin, so let's stop playing games. The people who make the movies spend millions of dollars, they try their best to be historically accurate, so movie critics don't come with those historical criticisms that you see on Internet Movie Database. So they do a little research and they find out about the Moors and Normandy. Say, let's add that. So I gotta catch that part when he say, "Are you from Normandy? One of the Moors of Normandy?" How you say something about the Moors of Normandy are good dancers or something like that. Yeah, want to dance for them. So, almost at the end. Where there were blocks of previous building engraved in 1 year figure of the 14th century, indeterminate because the last number could not be read, concluded that this was the site of the Norman Tower Akar. So we already read that. That's it. I got a list of the names, what part of the lands they conquer, like lands of Rote, San Miguel. So they can put a name to the culprits. You already know. They take your shit, they owe you. But they could be anybody. You're gonna find out who controlling the state of San Miguel and liquidate it. Or at least we got